Birdie Brand's all-natural bug deterrent is the best in the game of golf. It keeps the bugs away while giving you a bit of focus for those tight moments as the match comes to a close. Tour tested, tour approved. The 1-ounce bottle fits in any golf bag or travel case. When the match is on the line, your focus and comfort are things you don't want to be thinking about. Use Birdie Brands to make sure that doesn't happen. Birdie Brands, game on, bugs gone. Get yours at birdiebrands.com today. Hello and welcome to My Side of the Bag. Drew Hinesley. He's Scotty Worldwide. We've not done a show in a while because both of us have been working so much, and when I've had a little off time, Scotty's been in Europe or he's been busy, and when Scotty's had time, I've been doing stuff. So sorry for the long layoff. We are back. We hope to be a little more consistent, but glad to see you, buddy. How you doing?
Well, all good. For those that follow along with the LPGA schedule, this is our last week. Last full field event was last week over at Pelican. Now we go to the Tour Championship here at Tiburon at CME. Some of you might watch the Grant Thornton, the men's and ladies split event where they play this as well. But yeah, 60 of the best that have had the best year, and here we are playing for $11 million this week. So I think guaranteed 55,000 for last place. So should be a good profitable week and good little Christmas cash.
There you go. My Side of the Bag sponsored by Birdie Brands and Uncle Keith's Red Sauce. You won back in the spring. You won your hometown event at El Caballero Golf Club in the San Fernando Valley.
Sir.
Maybe 10 miles from your home, not even. And then it's been a long season after that.
Yeah.
Haven't really sniffed a lead or gotten into contention since then. So take us through the slog and the grind of a season, a month-long European swing, and then a month-long Asian swing, and just all the things that go into that to end up for you, your first time working the Tour Championship.
Yeah, no doubt. Obviously, we had the big win and then, played pretty good at the U.S. Open, and then it was kind of a grind. Didn't necessarily drive the ball well during the summer or into the fall events. Probably missed more cuts than we had wanted to. But, I think we've hung in there and battled pretty well. We had a really good last tournament in Malaysia. I think we were fourth after day one, so starting to hit the ball a little bit better. But it's just hard, right? And I do think probably after the win, her expectations lived up here. But, if I have this conversation with my boss a lot, and I say, hey, if I would have told you, when I started working for you in 2024 that you would be 50th some odd in the world, that you would, make the Tour Championship, that you would play an international crown, you want to be the 4 best Swedes in the world ranking, I think you'd sign up for it in your rookie year. And so I think perspective is big, and trying to always give her perspective, because obviously she's a rookie and thinks that we should shoot 62 every day. But it's golf, and you're playing against people like Nelly and Jin Young Ko and the best in the world. And you're not always going to have it. And it's trying to grind out those 2-3 unders when you don't have it. That's hard because, yeah, we can shoot 66 when we're hitting it good. But, happy to be here. I think it was a huge goal for her. And I think a little bit of a relief, the fact that we're here now and, knowing that this is going to be the last tournament for her. So I think she's very, very excited and happy to be here. And I'm definitely excited. I'm excited to put the jumpsuit on. I've never got to do it before. So yeah, we're super excited to be here. And, hopefully, like I said, not only take away a big, cash, but in the season right. And, hopefully compete for a title come Sunday.
Well, this is a show by caddies for caddies. So you led me to my next question. Jumpsuit, southwestern corner of Florida in Naples in mid-November. It's pretty mild where I am in northwestern Georgia. So how's the weather down there, and what are you going to be wearing underneath the jumpsuit?
Something like this, T-shirt and maybe some Jordan basketball shorts. And I will roll them up because they will be high tops. And these things are massive on me. I went with medium as I got fit today, but because the small was a little too small, but the medium's massive. So that's going to be the weather. Listen, it's supposed to be literally 72 and perfect every single day here. So no weather in the forecast, not really supposed to blow more than 14, 15 each day. So should be very, very good ideal conditions, kind of just like we had last week in St. Pete or Clearwater, maybe a little bit warmer here in the mornings.
All right. You've had a successful year. You worked the international crown in Korea. You've gone to Asia. You've gone to Europe. You've worked all the majors this
Yeah.
year. Is what other boxes are there left to check for this season? What are our goals this week?
Yeah, well, I mean, there's this week. Just I don't have any expectations. I'm just trying to do the best. I think we're trying to birdie every hole and see what happens. Again, I think if you asked her privately today, she would be very relieved that she's here. I think when she started seeing her CME rate go down, I think she got a little bit nervous. Before we went to Asia, and you just needed to relax a little bit. And I said, listen, Lexi's behind us and she's not even going. Okay. So I think we'll be okay. And it turns out we're here. She's got, for her, she's going to do LET qualifying in hopes to try to make the Solheim Cup team in 2026. I'm not going with her, which is fine. That's in Morocco a week before Christmas. So I don't need to do another transatlantic flight the week before Christmas. So, I think that's really kind of it. So I think to have any type of success this week would be a blessing and a plus. And again, we're happy to be here. So,
well, and I apologize to those that are new to the show. We haven't mentioned her name. Scotty's boss is Ingrid Lindblad from Sweden, rookie on the LPGA Tour, won the JM Eagle. Was that the sponsor in LA?
Yes, correct. Yeah,
JM Eagle at El Caballero earlier this year. Scotty's first win on tour, Ingrid's first win on tour. Was really excited to watch them accomplish that goal together. And now they are in the season-ending CM Tour Championship. I believe it's a $4 million first place check. And correct. I believe second place is $1 million. Yeah, so just getting that final group on Sunday, and Merry Christmas to everybody in the Scotty Worldwide household.
Hey, listen, maybe a good week. Maybe we can update you some technologically advances for my side of the bag. So that's the goal.
That is what's on the Christmas list. We'll see if Santa drops it down the chimney come December 25. All right, let's rewind 1 week back to the Annika presented by Gamebridge at Pelican. Boy, that's a mouthful.
Yes.
The two headlines early in the week was WNBA superstar Caitlin Clark playing in the Wednesday Pro-Am. I believe that was televised.
Yep.
So neat, and had a big crowd out there, not quite as big as last year, a little more novel last year. This year, maybe the one-offs didn't come, but still a lot of support. And then, of course, the granddaughter of the President of the United States, Donald Trump, Kai Trump, gets a sponsor invite as a high school senior who has signed a letter of intent to play women's golf at the University of Miami. Go Canes next year. But a high school senior gets a sponsor invite into the next to last event on tour, where there are a lot of people scrambling for that 59th and 60th spot. Now, most people would say, hey, play better. But what was the conversation, or was there a conversation in player dining and on the driving range about those two headlines, Caitlin Clark and Kai Trump?
Yeah, most of us were there last year for the Caitlin thing, and I think most of the girls love the fact that Caitlin's there. You even saw pictures of like Lottie Woad and Caitlin Clark going up to her and having a chat with her. Alexa Pano is a huge fan, so to see her all about Caitlin Clark was cool, because we handed our Pro-Am group off to her, and Caitlin, there were 4 groups behind us in the Wednesday Pro-Am, so it was good, and obviously. It's crazy. I was just talking. There's so many people there Wednesday for Caitlin Clark, and it seems like those people just don't come back for Thursday, Friday to the golf tournament. So it is what it is. But the fact that obviously, Caitlin is a Gamebridge ambassador, one of the hosts of the tournament, so makes a lot of sense. Obviously, the LPGA and Golf Channel got it right this year, and actually televised it. I think last year we only saw the last 3 holes. Other than that, I think it was, just a thing on social. So the fact that we got to see all of the Pro-Am and all of Caitlin this year was really, really cool. And it was good to be out there with for the Caitlin Clark episode on Wednesday. And as far as Kai goes,
okay. Now to the president's granddaughter.
Yeah. Listen, I've always had the argument in my head that, listen, sponsors can pick whoever they want. If they're writing the check, they can invite me, you, they can invite their dog, whoever. So the fact that, like, obviously, and I'd said this previously, like, listen, like, we know, look at Annika gets the Presidential Medal of Freedom. We know what the 99% of Pelicans membership, and specifically the owners, the Doyle family, the director of golf, Justin Sheehan, we know exactly where they stand politically. If you don't, just look on Instagram. You can go find that stuff for yourself. So it makes just a lot of sense of why this invite was given to Kai. If you think about the membership, if you think about this part of Florida, how they typically vote, they are very, very strong roles with the Republican Party, and for that matter, the president. I don't think any players had a problem with it. I don't think anybody was that, distracted by it. I thought security would be actually a little bit bigger, but the only thing we had to do was go through metal detectors, which we normally obviously wouldn't have to do in a player or caddy type of entrance because we don't go through the main entrance. So that was really the only thing. Obviously, in her group, there was Secret Service, and there was Secret Service outside of the cottages where she stayed, because she stayed on site this week at Pelican. So there's big, black SUVs, and you probably didn't want to come very close to them. But honestly, being on grounds for 7 days, and you wouldn't even know it in case it wasn't a distraction at all. And as far as attendance, I think Golf Week just came out and said it was like a 60% on site from Thursday, Friday from last year. So listen, it got people there. It got people watching. Obviously, there was a lot of red hats out there, which fine. Listen, like, those necessarily aren't the people that I vote along with. But listen, if they got there and they watched Kai and they paid for a ticket, then we're happy to have them as fans. And for all of us listening, we'll take them as fans of my side of the bag too. So.
Well, full disclosure, I think Scotty is one of the principal members of the Gavin Newsom bandwagon for president 2028.
Don't start this.
Just so you guys understand what the cards we're dealing with here. So Craig Kessler, new commissioner on the LPGA Tour. Big question I have is what you just presented. Huge viewership, huge attendance for Caitlin on Wednesday. Maybe a little drop off for Kai on Thursday, Friday. But then how do you keep those people for what shaped up to be a fantastic leaderboard? You had kind of a full circle moment with Annika, the host, the first great player from Sweden, the first, global superstar from Sweden, handing a trophy to what could be the next global superstar from Sweden, and Lynn Grant. Great storylines. Great tournament, 19 under, the winner. I mean, 4.75, I think, every day is your scoring average to win the tournament. Great golf on a lot of slope in the golf course, a lot of challenge, big bunkers, a lot of very Augusta-like contouring to the golf course. And that's on purpose because of the membership and because of who designs the course. So 19 under, a Swedish winner, a Swedish host, a lot of good storylines. But maybe all those eyeballs from Wednesday and Thursday weren't quite there on Sunday. So how do we resolve that moving forward?
Yeah, that's the goal, right? And that's the challenge that Craig will have now, is how do we get those people to come back, and how do we, continue to bring people in like this LPGA, but also keep them, right? How do we turn Kai Trump's fans into Grace Kim fans? How do we turn Caitlin Clark fans into Jennifer Kupcho fans? And so that's obviously the challenge. We can have different opinions of what happened the week, whether it was a success or not. But, the fact that we got engagement, I know I talked to the social people last year. Caitlin Clark was by far the most engaged thing last year. I would argue it's probably going to be again this year. And so we'll wait on all that data to come back. But it also shows we're willing to take risk. And I think if you think about the LPGA and its whole and where it stands right now, we have got to take some risk like that. We have got to free up our television just to do different things and to bring in different eyeballs. So that's what I'm excited about.
Well, in Western culture, specifically American culture, it's a cult of personality. The top two entertainers in the world, by all the metrics you can look for, Taylor Swift and Beyonce, females.
Yeah.
So we love being entertained as a public by very talented women. But something doesn't quite translate in the golf game. And I've said this a ton, and I know you're going to roll your eyes again, but tennis can do it. Golf has to figure it out. Again, when the Williams sisters were on tour, I would almost watch Wimbledon more for them. And I can't
Sure.
tell you the last time I watched Wimbledon or US Open doubles since they stopped playing. But they brought me into a sport and even an avenue of a sport that I haven't revisited since, because the cult of personality of Serena and Venus brought me in, brought a lot of folks in. I remember sitting at a bar in a Chili's in Ohio with Lexi Thompson's dad, and we were discussing Serena Williams, who was on the TV in front of us. So again, everybody is brought in by the cult of personality,
Sure.
and golf has to figure that out. We do need to do a little bit better with social media, and YouTube golf has proven that you can do it in non-traditional forms.
Yeah,
I mean,
look
I think we had the
tried.
Barstool Classic or whatever. It was on my YouTube feed for a week because they drug this thing out like a mini series back in the 80s, which is very smart of them. So we're shown we don't have to be groundbreakers on the LPGA.
Yeah.
We just have to go with best practices of this new generation and how to find the Gen Zers
Yeah. So
who are searching for entertainment.
So I'm with you. I don't necessarily know if it's bringing YouTube stars in to our world or us getting our stars out into that YouTube world. So for instance, I think you look at what Grant and Nelly did on YouTube. Fantastic. I mean, if you watch it, Nelly comes off really good in it, very like down to earth, and she needs to do more of that stuff. Lydia Ko had one where she played Luke Kwan up in San Francisco. Really, really good. So I think getting stars.
Scotty, I know you've seen the Malbon golf commercial with Charlie Hull. It's a commercial. But if you watch the extended commercial, 3 or 4 minutes where she's texting her buddies, hey, bring your cash, let's come out and play a little trash talk. I mean, that's engaging, and that's a commercial.
Yeah.
But it's Charlie's personality that we see in a commercial that you never get to see while she's competing. We've got to do more of that. We got to show these incredible athletes, yes, but they are also very intriguing and captivating personalities. You and I know this because we've been around these women for years. There are some really funny. There are some really interesting people, very smart women, highly intelligent, would love to entertain, but they need to be given the platform. That's Craig Kessler's job.
Like if anyone could ever go listen to talk to Alban Venezuela about
oh my gosh
investing in the market, she might be one of the smartest people when it comes to money that I know. We got to give her a platform to do that. I mean, she would literally educate anyone on the basics of when to just start investing.
Well, her dad is an investment banker from Switzerland.
There you go.
She went to Stanford. So genetics plus her education, she runs circles around me and leaves some for everybody else. So, some very intelligent women all across the board out there. And I think we need to feature more. Yeah, Alban, get her on. You know, we do these playing lessons with the pros on Golf Channel. But again, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. We need the LPGA to spend this winter creating opportunities for these women to really show off who they are. Not just athletes, but as people.
I would love if one of the major players out here created their own YouTube page and did like what a Bryson's doing. I think Charlie would be fantastic at it. Natalia Guseva would be fantastic at it.
Well, she's in the Malbon commercial with Charlie.
There you go.
And she's a Russian player via University of Miami. So
who I just mentioned, Alexa Pano. Excellent at it. She's excellent on social media. So all of these things, I think, I don't want to say, I think they're just opportunities, right? And that's where we have to go. And that's hopefully where Craig wants to take us. So.
Well, let's hope so, because the opportunity is there. And I think we saw this week, fans are willing to engage. And, the thing fans want is they want genuine interaction, and the women are willing to give that. And I've been hearing that for over 20 years. That's why certain sponsors leave the PGA Tour and come to the LPGA, because players are willing to do more. So now we just need to cross over into that social media world. All right. My side of the bag brought to you by Birdie Brands and Uncle Keith's Red Sauce, Drew Hinesley, Scotty Worldwide. We've been on a break. We've been on a break doing the show. We have not been on a break working. We've both been working our tails off. And one of the things we've been doing is following pro golf, and we follow also as fans as well as participants. So one of the biggest questions as we enter the winter with Rory winning Race to Dubai this past week,
Oh,
who had a better year in the men's game, Rory or Scotty? Rory starts the year off with wins at Pebble Beach, the Players, Augusta, caps it with Race to Dubai, an away Ryder Cup at Bethpage, which he was targeting for a couple of years and
yep,
said that's the true measure of a great team.
yep.
Scotty wins the PGA at Quail Hollow, the Open Championship in Rory's home country. Who had the better year?
Yeah, Scotty also won Dallas, right?
He won by 8 shots. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Listen, I think in the game we're measured by majors.
Wow,
I,
it's funny. I feel like somebody else on this show said that last year with Xander,
I
but
think it's I think
we may have to pull back that bit. I don't know. But anyway, go ahead.
I think it's Scotty. Just the fact that he won 2 majors, he's increased his number one player in the world from where
Mm.
it's been. And I think even if you ask Rory, he would tell you that he would probably trade his year to have Scotty's year. So I still think it's Scotty, and again, that's not taking nothing away from Rory. I think watching Rory compete is an all time, and watching him finally win that green jacket, watching him take down our good buddy Mark Cairns and JJ at the Players was electric. So I still think it's Scotty, but the margin's not very big. And the only fact that it's Scotty is because there's two big pieces of hardware on that resume this year.
I would argue Rory because he completed the Grand Slam. Scotty has an opportunity to do that
Yeah.
at next year's U.S. Open at Shinnecock. But winning the career Grand Slam, I think once that was accomplished, you look at the win at Pebble, the win in a playoff at the Players, and then to follow that up with a win at Augusta. After that, it was all going to be gravy for
Sure.
Rory. And I think he played that way for a little while, kind of, hey, I've got nothing else to prove. And then all of a sudden, we came around to Portrush. That refocused him just in time for the playoffs, which sharpened him for the Ryder Cup, which was high on his priority list as far as his career. He accomplished it. They won, his buddy Shane Lowry sinking
Yep.
the winning putt ultimately. So I think Rory had the better year. I think Scotty's runway is longer than Rory's
Yeah,
moving
Rory would even
forward.
tell you he had the best year of his life, personal and on the golf course.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I'll go with Rory. I think Scotty will be the obvious answer if he can complete his slam at Shinnecock or a U.S. Open in the
okay.
near future. So
Now,
that's my answer to that. Now we turn back to the LPGA and who are the favorites to win? Now we're all old school, just like it used to be at the Men's Tour Championship as it returned this year.
uh,
Everybody starts at even par. So who are the favorites to win the $4 million first prize, the largest in women's golf?
I mean, I think it starts and ends with Gino, right? Who's number
Okay.
one. It's probably
Would
been,
you say she's had a quiet start to the fall?
I mean, was missed the Malaysia playoff by a shot.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
hasn't played
So
a whole
no.
lot. Hasn't
Okay.
played a whole lot, right? Took some time off. Obviously
Okay.
didn't play last week. I still think it's hard to imagine a year after she wins 7 times and Nelly not winning a tournament in a calendar year. So
Hmm.
you gotta pick her. And then let me give you another name. And she just won in Malaysia. She is she's already wrapped up Rookie of the Year. Yamashita, I think, could definitely
Yeah.
win this tournament. Good buddy John Bennett caddies for her. I look at this golf course and man, you have to hit it straight, and man, she does. And I think she's going to have a part of the conversation come Sunday.
You walked that course, Tiburon Golf Club, for the first time today.
Yeah.
How many holes have water that's distinctly in play, not just some ribbon of water around a tee box that you never look at? How many holes could you rinse one?
One.
Okay, but it's tight. It's tree lined.
Hold on. I'm giving you the list here.
I thought you said one hole. Okay, I was like, I thought there was more water than that, but I've
Uh,
never walked the golf course.
7 or 8 holes, probably.
Yeah. So there's half of the holes you're going to be playing away from something.
And for the viewers here, I think the first 4 holes are the hardest on the golf course.
So there you go.
if you can be even par playing number 5, you've done something
Watch
right.
out. Okay. All right. That's
Watch,
great insight from
watch,
boots on the ground.
watch from everyone that gets to 5. If they're 1 or even, I would say 2 over, they're fine. The first 4 holes are brutal.
Okay. So you're going with world number one. I'm going to go with Nelly. I think Nelly
Yeah.
hadn't won this year. I think that's a big story, and it will become a bigger story in a good way for Nelly as she works her way to the lead. Obviously, Jason's a friend of the show. He's come on here. They definitely want to end the year not over.
Yeah, no, I've had me and Jason sit down after Hawaii, and he was like, "Listen, like we're playing great golf. It's just not clicking, and maybe it's just not our year." And she's been there. Obviously, had another good week last week at a place she absolutely loves, and so I definitely think it could click this week. And you walk down the names of all the tour winners here, and you got people like Se Young Kim, and you got Amy Yang, and you got Jin Young Ko, won it twice, and it just feels like Nelly's name is going to get on there sooner or later, right? So I could easily see that happening this week.
Okay. Well, we're cheering for you. You know that. And we're excited to watch Ingrid Lindblad make her way to the top of the board. And now all our fans know that if she wins, you make 400K, and my side of the bag might get a new computer. So if you're a fan of the show, that's what you're cheering for, right?
Of course,
I mean, geez.
we might have new setup, we might have
So
earphones and so much cool stuff.
sponsored by Beats or something like that. That would be kind of cool.
Speaking
All your buddies in LA.
Hey, speaking of winning, I want to talk and ask about you where you got to go last week because you were hanging out with some A-list celebrities, if you will. So just talk about kind of cool opportunity and kind of what it meant to you and who you got
Yeah.
to hang out with last week.
Well, Ted Scott, Scotty Scheffler's caddy, he and I have become very close friends, and he invited me to this men's retreat called Who's Your Caddy, because there were a lot of caddies involved. There were a few PGA Tour caddies, some guys aspiring to break into the business. But as caddies, we're always whispering, sweet nothings to our players, trying to encourage, trying to pull them through the hard times. So for this group of men, 40 men, we're all believers in Jesus Christ. So Jesus Christ needs to be our caddy. We need to lean on him in all the tough times. That was kind of the theme of the whole weekend. An amazing group of godly men. And honestly, I had a little bit of imposter syndrome, wondering what I was doing in that room. There were some great, successful men in business. I met a young man who's an up and coming Christian artist in Nashville, really dynamic personality, great young man. Again, couple of caddies. Ted kind of started the festivities coming in wearing a Ryder Cup jacket, took it off, said, boy, is it just me or am I hot in here? Took it off and had the Open Championship bib underneath that. And then took that off, had another shirt talking about he and Scotty's success. And then he said, boy, I'm thirsty. And he grabbed a bottle of water. He said, where's my jug? And he grabs the claret jug out of a cardboard box. So to me, I was just blown away. Like, I'm in a room with all those things. That's so neat, The gold medal from Paris was there. The guy who worked security for Scotty and Ted in Paris last year, he was on the retreat as well. Got to know him, a veteran. He's still in the military apparatus in Washington, D.C.
Cool.
Really great guy, former Black Hawk helicopter pilot. So, I mean, you can imagine like the type of men. I mean, it's intimidating being in that room with those guys. And I'm wondering, why am I here? But it was because of Ted's generosity and Ted's kindness to include me. And I just, wanted to meet those guys and get to know them and learn as much as I could in just a couple of days. We played a lot of golf, had a lot of fun. Nobody had a bad attitude. I made about 8 million triples, and I was smiling the whole way because of the community and the companionship that we were having. It was a lot of fun. The best man at Ted's wedding is a guy I got to meet. So again, just people that his life has touched over all the years, and he brings as many together as he can. And everybody was there with that single purpose of just trying to be around good men so you too can be a good man.
Amen.
Boy, I hope I get the invite next time and I nearly backed out. Just a lot of life things happened and this and that. And I texted Ted a couple of days before, said, I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it. And finally I texted, said, yeah, I think I can squeeze it in. Kind of like I was doing him a favor.
Sure.
And man, I look back now going, think of all the relationships that I've only had for a week or so, that I would have missed out on meeting these men had I, made other plans. And so again, there was a lot of God working in ways for me that haven't happened in a long time. And there was some light shown on some things. I was challenged. I was uplifted. But it's one of those, again, if you're a believer and you've gone on any type of retreat or you've done a revival at your church, the language you use is mountaintop experience. I had a mountaintop experience last week, and now you come back to earth, you get back into your daily life, and the challenge is to continue those wonderful habits that you were, that best version of yourself that you were presenting. Well, let's present that to your wife and your kids and not let them see the tired old man sitting in the chair who doesn't have time for anybody. So again, they say all discipleship starts at home. So for me, that was a big challenge that these men shared with me and brought and shined a little light into my life. And again, gave me a ton of encouragement, a bunch of great men. So if any of them are listening, thank you so much for your time. And I can't wait to see them again wherever we have that retreat next time. I certainly will attend, and I'll be bringing people with me next time.
Amen. Love that.
Yeah. So again, thanks to Ted Scott. He's such a good friend. He's such a good example. And many, many know the hardship that's going on in his life with a family member, his stepson or nephew, Joel, however, it's his nephew, technically, Joel, and the injury that he suffered. It's just such a tragic thing. So to watch Ted walk through that season of life where there's just no answers and nothing makes sense. And he came on this retreat with us while all that was going on. So we were all very encouraged, and we were trying to encourage him through that same process. So maybe one day he will come on this show. The invite is out there. There's a couple other things that need to happen before that happens, but hopefully one day he'll come on the show and he can talk about some of this stuff himself. But I was honored to be part of the group, and I'm looking forward to getting another invite in the future.
Cool. Super cool, Joe. I'm glad. Cool. Thanks for sharing that. And so yeah, no, that's really well.
Cool. Do we have anything else to talk about? I mean, it's only been 6 months since we chatted.
I don't know. Do we?
I think we might be out of ideas today. Maybe we make a plan to revisit this after you win the CME Tour Championship in 6 days' time.
I'm going to North Naples Country Club Sunday night, and we're doing we're doing a live show from there. I can't
listen. I'm a 7.5 hour drive. If I see you're winning, I'm in the car, and we'll do a remote live from show.
Done.
And we'll have a good time at Naples North on Sunday night. It's a date. So just go out there, like Ingrid says, go out there and shoot 66 every day. It's easy.
And then there's caddy golf on Monday, so even better.
There we go. Perfect. Well, Birdie Brands, Uncle Keith's Red Sauce, thank you for your sponsorship. All of you tuning in from the Back Nine Brief, we thank you very much. You can like, subscribe, share all the clips you like. The more you like them, the more you share them, the more we'll be able to do this show moving forward in the future. So thank you for all your subscriptions. Thank you for all your interactions. Scotty, a couple final thoughts before we sign off.
Yeah, no, just happy to be here again this week. Obviously, it's always the goal to get to the Tour Championship, and we're here. By any metric, that means you had a good year. If you're here, there's 150 other girls that aren't here that would love to be here. So, yeah, obviously excited to get going. But A, B, and maybe most importantly, excited to get back uplinked with you, to see you, and to be able to record this podcast again and give it to the people that love it, that miss it. I get asked about it every week. People have been saying, where's Drew? What's going on? Where's my side of the bag? Well, baby, we are here and we are back, and couldn't be more excited about that. So it's just really happy and good to see you. Seriously, from man to man, it's good to see you.
Yeah, same here. Again, wintertime comes, our schedules do slow a little bit. So that gives us the opportunity not just to do the show, but to produce it, edit, push it out. So we will be intentional about being a little more faithful to our audience. We thank you because it does mean a lot to hear that from you guys. I hear it too. Guys ask all the time, when are you going to do another show? And you're like, next week, whatever. Life just happens. We're busy, but we do need to make an effort. And for those of you that are faithfully listening to us, we know who you are and we really appreciate you. And again, Like it, share, subscribe, and we'll keep giving you the world of golf from my side of the bag. This salsa got its start in a tiny kitchen in Alabama, but it's big on flavor at family gatherings, big or small. Make sure you have Uncle Keith's in time for your next big event. You can find Uncle Keith's in a grocery store near you in the southeastern U.S. or go to the website, UncleKeith'sRedSauce.com, and order yours today. Call it red sauce, call it salsa, but when you have Uncle Keith's, you can definitely call it a party.
Birdie Brand's all-natural bug deterrent is the best in the game of golf. It keeps the bugs away while giving you a bit of focus for those tight moments as the match comes to a close. Tour-tested, tour-approved, the 1-ounce bottle fits in any golf bag or travel case. When the match is on the line and your focus and comfort are things you don't want to be thinking about out there on the course, use Birdie Brands to make sure that doesn't happen to you. Birdie Brands, game on, bugs gone. Get yours at birdiebrands.com today.